to be true. But I get tired of running. Now I'm running with you. With you. So boy, I'm trying to reach more on Sunday. The next level on Monday. The needle on Wednesday. Cause I'll be searching in positions for you. Get your little bit better around. I'm needing this way I'm going to go. I'm love you and I know what I do. But I won't go. Searching for you. Looking in the kitchen and I'm in the bedroom. I'm needing this way I'm going to go. I'm love you and I know what I do. But I won't go. Searching for you. There's something that I usually don't do. But for you I kinda want to. Cause you're down for me and I'm down too. Yeah, I'm down to. Searching conversations for you. There's something that I usually don't do. So for you I kinda want to. Cause you're down for me and I'm down too. Searching conversations for you. Get your little bit better around. I'm leaning this way I'm going to go. I'm love you and I know what I do. But I won't go. Searching for you. Looking in the kitchen and I'm in the bedroom. I'm needing this way I'm going to go. I'm love you and I know what I do. But I won't go. Searching for you. Yeah. Heaven sent you to me. I just open and don't read. Beat history. Boy, I'm trying to reach one on Sunday. The next level on Monday. Never need no one else, babe. Cause I'll be searching in positions for you. Looking in the kitchen and I'm in the bedroom. I'm needing this way I'm going to go. I'm love you and I know what I do. But I won't go. Searching for you. Perfect, good to be true. But I get tired of running. Now I'm running with you. With you. So boy, I'm trying to reach more on Sunday. The next level on Monday. The needle on Wednesday. Cause I'll be searching in positions for you. Get your little bit better around. I'm needing this way I'm going to go.
What's going on? Almost Merry Christmas. I'd say we're closer to Christmas and New Year's than we are to Thanksgiving. Have we not done a show since before Thanksgiving? No, we haven't, because I've had a puppy since before Thanksgiving, and this is like the first night that I had to remember to get my shit together before the show. What? Why is it a personal? Yeah, it is a personal problem that I have a dog. It's like very personal. I mean, it's not a problem, but it's a lot of work. I can hear you, but it's
yeah.
It sounds weird.
There we go. There we go. I think my streaming thing, like people in the video, I mean, people on the stream cannot hear me, is what I'm saying. Now they can.
Okay.
Yeah, now they can. Yeah, no, I'm glad you got your shit together. I have been very, very busy, and it looks like hella people left because I got very, very busy.
What do you mean hella people left?
Nothing. I just saw...
like we lost subscribers?
Nah. I just looked at like my churn, and I haven't looked at it in a while. I just haven't had like... There's been so much going on that I haven't had time to just...
Yeah, did you move? Did you move?
Yeah, I did, dude. I fucking moved.
Yeah, that's a big thing.
Yeah, and like, you know, of course, so I'm not putting out any videos or anything like that, and like I had to take last week off because I had just work, you know, and adjustment to my new place. So, yeah.
So no longer in NYC, huh?
No longer. Nobody knows where I am right now, dude. It's so funny.
Did you get hit?
Huh?
Did you get hit with a storm? Are you still on the East Coast? Did you get like the snow this week?
I saw snow. They always blow these fucking storms out of proportion. They're like...
I got like 10 inches.
You did not get 10 inches.
Yeah.
Did you really?
There's 10 inches. Yeah, there's a lot of snow outside.
Fucker, dude.
There's a lot of snow outside.
Yo, it's only fitting. Like, when I moved to New York, I got a shit ton of snow. And now that I've left, there's a shit ton of snow. Like,
snow
every year in
comes,
between
like,
has
big
been
storms. Like... Yeah, it's only like every other year, or even every like 3 years, do we actually get like a...
Every
like
3 years,
serious storm.
You're right.
So this was a good one, honestly. It didn't come until later. It started here around like 4 o'clock or so, maybe a little bit later. And it came down pretty heavy. There was a couple inches on the ground by like the time I went outside at like 8 o'clock. I took the pup out, and it was his first time, and I shoveled at that time. So
how did your
like
puppy take it?
Oh, he loves it. He absolutely loves it.
Really? Do you put like socks or like fucking shoes?
No, I didn't. So I heard that the reason that you get those is because of the salt, and I figured like he's not going to be down here. Like it's not super salty around here, you know. Especially this storm, I knew it wasn't going to be icy, so it's pure snow. And it's fine. He like loves it. We were out for an hour today at one point. I have a little backyard, so he's playing in it a lot. He loves it. Yeah, it's really fun to see.
Yeah, no, well,
I took an awesome picture of him in the
paws,
snow.
They like paws are still like they're calloused, but they're still like hands, you know. So what I do, I've got this thing called Musher's Secret. Have you heard of that?
No.
It's like gelatin moisturizer special blend.
I've been thinking about like how can I moisturize his like paws?
Yeah,
That's
yeah, yeah.
exactly what I've been thinking of.
So it's not necessary. Like it protects his feet if he goes on snow and salt, and then also like it makes it more comfortable for him, and then it also like so it insulates a little bit, and then also moisturizes. So at the very least, you put that shit on.
Yeah,
You know,
that sounds great.
Musher's secret. That's what's up.
Because sometimes I'll like be touching the bottom of his paws, and I'm like, oh, they're kind of like my hands are rough, and I just want to put some lotion on it. And I was thinking, is there like anything as like a pet lotion, you know, that would help him? This sounds like it could be something that could be preventative.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I've used it for years.
This is great, thanks.
Since I moved to the East Coast, and I brought my dogs, used them on both my dogs. It's not like a complete replacement for shoes, but like, so like if you're going to be out in the snow for like longer than, you know, for a while, you probably want to put some booties on them, you know, but if you're just going in and out for like peas.
He was definitely out for like a good hour tonight, like playing in the snow. There's big mounds of snow, so he like is loving jumping on them.
Yeah.
It's like he's a little explorer. He's like climbing these little mountains. It's so cute. And then my neighbor is really great. He's like a kid. He's 13, and he absolutely loves playing with him, and he'll like tucker him out. And so when we were out last night, we were both shoveling at the same time, his dad and I. And he just played with him in this. Like I tied him to the, like the way that my like patio out front, like little porch area, you can like, you know, I took like a carabiner and tied like a really long leash around one of the poles, and he just like frolicked in the snow. It was just so funny to see.
Dude,
and
I'm so glad that you were able to like adopt, you know.
I didn't adopt. I actually bought a dog.
Oh, you bought him? I thought you.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, I was really looking for. I was looking to adopt, but nothing kind of came up that I thought I really wanted a puppy. And there was no puppies. And like, if I didn't get one before the end of this year, I mean, I probably could have waited, but it kind of turned out right. So.
You know, I think it's. I mean, I think it's a good idea. Cause you this is your first puppy, right? Dog.
Yeah, we had a family dog, but it's very different. I mean, if that's the one thing that I can say, it is extremely different. Like when you're a kid, a teenager growing up, like you're not mainly responsible for these pets that your family has. You know,
so it's probably a good idea to get like a puppy, and then because sometimes when you adopt, it's a little bit more challenging because the dog has been, you know, set in his ways a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I fostered for a bit over the summer, but it just didn't turn out like that's the reason that made me that's the experience that I had that made me realize I wanted a dog that I could really like mold into my lifestyle. And you know, one day I will hopefully get another dog. And I'm really putting a lot of energy into training him, and because I really want a very good dog, you know, and like I have a friend that has an amazing dog. Like he's great. And he said, like, you just got to put in a lot of work in the beginning. And his dog's like 18 months old. He can have her like off leash all the time. Like she doesn't like jump on anybody. Like she's so well behaved. And I'm like, that's the kind of dog I want. So
well,
he has like really been helping me. It's a lot of work though.
I mean,
like, it's a lot of work.
I don't know. Like I don't.
And I'm by myself.
I don't keep my dog on a leash if I can help it. You know, like there are situations in the city because it gets kind of like congested, you know, that I will do that. But for the most part, I won't, like when I got my dogs, I kind of gave them this choice. This is gonna sound funny, but I was just like, hey, listen, like you and I, we could do this together, you know, we could kind of live together, right? But if you go off, I can't like help you. You know, I can't try and like protect you against like weird things, you know? So
Yeah.
you can go if you want, or you can stay. And they stayed.
Well, I'm getting a sense from him too. Like he's 3 months old and he's been with me for 3.5. This Saturday will be a month. So like he's still like, we're just getting to a point of like really, getting to know each other.
Wow.
This is like the most intimate relationship I've had. Like a lot. Like it's like so funny. Like I'm getting to like really understand him and like really, and I'm making him like also understand me, and like when I could play with him all day long, but I need to like set up boundaries because eventually I'm gonna have to like go back to work, and not be allowed to take him out every like hour, 2 hours, play in the snow.
You ain't gotta do that. You ain't gotta do that.
What do you mean? Like I don't have to take him out, or I don't have to go back to work?
You ain't gotta go back to work, fool.
I mean, maybe. I mean, hopefully, if I can try not to.
I mean, listen, I don't think anybody's gonna go back to work, like into the office, like well into next year. Like,
yeah, but eventually I'm going back. I mean, I know he's going to be a lot older, but it's going to be harder. It's you know what I mean?
Well,
like,
you can train him. You can go off and go do something for
so I'm trying to now, but
Yeah.
it's hard. You know what I mean? Like I'm working on it. I'm leaving him for like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, to start off with.
That's good. That's definitely good. So where are the boys? They all thought the show's canceled permanently.
Yeah.
Did you experience any of the problems that went down with Google going down earlier?
I had no idea Google went down.
Yeah. So Google.
But that makes sense because we were having some issues at work, and we're on a Google system.
Yeah. Basically anything that required authentication, but it's the like adverse effects that you don't really think about. Like, for example, if you're trying to access a service that is tied to your Gmail, right? And you're trying to do two-factor authentication, right? Or maybe a company sent out a very urgent email to their customers, and it was like very critical that people knew, right? During the outage, if anybody sent any email, the email would have bounced back, and the receiver would have never received it, right? But not only did it bounce back, it would have bounced back permanently. So
they never would have received any other emails?
They never would have received any other emails, but also if you weren't paying attention, right? Or if like, a company did like a mass email, they wouldn't know to go like check on it, right? And so they could go for like a couple days or a couple hours and not know that their shit wasn't sent, right? Or like I could send you an email and not know, a very urgent email, and it would have bounced back. And unless I was like actively checking my email, I would, I just wouldn't
Urgent
know.
email though, you are actively checking your email.
I suppose so. I mean,
if you're sending me an urgent email, whether you want to reply from me or not, I think you're going to make sure that it gets sent. Like for me anyway, I always go through and make sure any emails I need to go through are, especially if I don't hear, if I like need to hear an answer back and I don't.
Fair point.
And at work, we always like make sure that the sends happen and that they, people are opening them and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So.
Fair point. I guess a lot of the times if it's urgent to somebody else, I just send it as soon as possible and forget it.
think of like an urgent, like personal email I'd be sending. I don't know. I'd probably text
Yeah, if
somebody
it's a
like
personal, I would never send a urgent personal email anyways. That's just like, I'd never do it.
I feel like that if it's urgent and personal, it warrants like a phone call or a text. Like that's you shouldn't be emailing unless that's the only like thing you have, is email.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
But no, I guess I didn't realize that was a thing.
Yeah, man. I think Gmail, a bunch of other services went down, and I guess if you were trying to sign in, if you were signed in to Google and you tried to do a Google search, it wouldn't work. But I think me and maybe Lux have successfully really begun to wean ourselves off of Google.
Yes, he told me about his change and how you've influenced him.
Dude,
but then
no joke, he's taken it to these huge extremes, huh?
That's like him though. I feel like he always like has like a thought in his mind and it just takes it like 10. I mean, like he wants like, let's say he wants to lift weights. He just builds a gym in his house. Like
I know.
Not that he won't. I mean, that he'll actually use that. I feel like, but
no, that's his bag. He likes to. He's not the type to like go out and work out. Like he needs like a spot where he goes, but it has to be within his domain.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like I think that'll be really, really good for him. My point is that he like suddenly like got like he went shifted way further than I could. Like I was like, okay, I'm gonna slowly wean myself off of this phone, still have that phone, but I'll keep it in like a Faraday bag or something like that, and then I'll get you know what I mean, like I'm still gonna participate. I mean I got a new phone too, but like it's still I couldn't go all the way dumb phone. I had to like I don't know. I had to find like a kind of a balance and see what works well for me. But like he went like full force the other way. Like, I still use some of the Gmail accounts, but I'm slowly getting everything off of it. Like I have an email account for delivery, an email account for, throwaway services and shit like that, Yeah,
I mean, I hear what you guys are saying, but I'm not there. Like, I just can't. I don't think I make use of like all of this stuff that Google has, but I do.
Holy shit! Actually, what? I just had this realization. Things for like phone, like so. There's a service, right? And it's not exactly private. Okay, it's but it does do a couple things for you, and it's called it's ironic because it's called privacy.com, I think, and what they do is they make virtual card issuing, so you pay to pretty much buy these virtual cards and then you use them to pay for like Netflix or any of your recurring subscriptions. And or even you can use it as a way so that like what it solves is kind of the security portion, right? If you have a data breach at any one of these places, people don't just have your like credit card number, right? And it kind of protects puts a layer in between your data aggregation where like it's harder to track you, but at the end of the day you're still getting like you're still paying these cards, which are indirectly getting paid. Like your credit card won't show that it was paid, like that you paid like a Netflix bill, which is nice, right? So it puts that extra layer where the financial institution isn't tracking all of your transactions. But I just had this idea, like with email, the reason like I've created multiple emails for like each type of service is because, you know, you don't want it to be a single point of failure. And then also you want to be able to keep relatively anonymous during this process, right? So I have an email address for delivery or an email address for when I like buy an iPhone or something, you know what I mean? They have throwaway email addresses, but they don't quite work. But like ideally you still want to keep track of like all these emails in like one place, right? And there's just no easy way to do that. And that might be an idea for a small business.
Like how the passwords, we use LastPass for work.
Right.
And it like contains all your passwords. Are you thinking about something that has like all your emails?
Yeah, like well, it like provides an interface for creating new emails for each for compartmentalizing your services in your life, you know. And then
that's interesting.
Yeah, and then instead of having to create it on your own and organize it, like I have like a notebook full of my various emails, you know.
Yeah.
Jet joined.
Yeah,
Jet.
I'm here. What's up? What's happening?
Where have you
What's
been,
going on?
bro? Where you been?
I don't know. I've been around, man. Where you been?
I mean, I left.
Where'd you go?
I left New York. I'm gonna have to
Really?
message you outside of this.
Yeah, man.
Even though it's been said like a couple times on the show already. But
I was good. I didn't say anything.
yeah, no, I'm happy about that. But yeah, no, I mean, I had to leave. You know, I had to find a better.
They were coming for him.
Sorry, I had to jot this idea down, man. It's a good idea, you know. I got a separate email for social. I got a separate email for all sorts of different things. So, yeah. Anyways, how's the new home, Jet?
The new home is good.
Yeah? You have a dog
Yeah.
yet?
Nah, I can't
Yeah.
get a dog. I'm allergic.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You have a cat?
Yeah.
You got a new home?
no.
You moved into a new place, Jet?
Yeah, in August.
Oh, congrats. Nice.
Yeah.
He's doing the family man thing, dude. It's huge.
Oh yeah,
It's
did you get
huge.
married or you're getting married?
He got married.
You got married?
No, I've been married since 2019.
20.
Oh, I thought for something you were getting married this year. I don't know why I thought that.
Yo, 20.
No.
I mean, listen, the whole entire year went by so quick. Saying that you got married in 2019 was like saying you got married like last week.
Yeah, I know. Well, the world was normal when I got married.
The world was normal. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is crazy. This time last year I was in Vegas. Just like having a good time.
Last year I was in Mexico. Having a good time at a wedding. At a wedding
Yeah, I
that
remember
Yard
that.
Sale was supposed to be at, but he didn't show. But dude, I gotta talk with you after the show. We gotta catch up for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Sure. But I didn't really prepare much this week, man. I've been so busy with the move and everything. I did want to show this video, and I was hoping, you know, I'm pretty sure Lux would be very happy about this, about seeing this. But I always, you know, Duff, you might think that Lux and I are going kind of crazy, right? And that's
I mean,
absolutely
I've been listening
fair.
to this for a while, so like I understand your point of view. I get where you guys are coming from.
What I'm about to share is going to make it painfully obvious why you need to be protective of your phone. and how exposed it can be. Okay. I hope if you're not watching the stream,
Can you wait a second so I can?
will post it in Discord.
Okay.
Give me a minute. So what it is iOS 12 to 13 was very, very insecure. It wasn't very secure at all. So what this video is about is basically this guy developed a way to attack a memory exploit in the phone kernel so that he could download pictures, control applications remotely without being on the same network. So he could just target the device. And it utilizes what is it, AirPlay or some shit that's on iPhone?
Yeah, AirPlay.
Yeah. And it might have been patched on in iOS 14, but what you should be kind of like losing your sleep over is that like this dude spent only like 6 months, right? Like 6 months is a long time trying to program this like exploit, but like one man did this to a huge company, right? And their products. And so like just imagine the case is like just imagine that some dude, whether it be a coffee shop, it doesn't even have to be a coffee shop. You could be sitting in your apartment and your neighbor could be running the script, not even on the same network, and stealing your photos, passwords, and everything else. And people think, you know, I'm kind of crazy for keeping my phone now in a Faraday bag.
No, like how many times? I mean, I understand that because I've definitely been on the subway and you get when your AirDrop is on.
The subway
like
is
you can
another
get,
one, yeah.
you know, like nude. Like this girl that I work with, she actually got like a nude pic sent to her, because she had her AirDrop on for like everybody. I guess some guy sent her.
Really? Oh, that's funny as fuck.
I've had somebody send something to me too. I declined it though because I was like, I don't know who the fuck this is. Like, I'm not looking at this.
Yeah, I mean, lately what I've been doing is like I'll use my phone and then I'll put it back in the bag, and I'll check the bag. I check my phone like, you know, every once in a while when I want to check it, but I'll take it out of the bag. It's just gotten to that point. Why can't I sign in here? This is super annoying. Okay, I'm missing an I. I just want to post this goddamn thing. Jesus Christ. What are you guys' plans for the holiday?
Probably just spend time with family. I took off from Christmas to New Year's.
Are you still rocking the same work situation?
Unfortunately, yes. It's really bad, man. Like, I'm still working right now.
Oh no, that's not good. I mean, like I'm supposed to be doing stuff like that. I just won't. I won't do it, man. You gotta prioritize. Well, I'm at this point where I'm like, I gotta prioritize like my lifestyle over my work, and I know that's kind of like I'm very fortunate to be even able to say that, you know, like I've been walking the streets where I live now, and you see like a lot of people out on the street in the cold, and it just snowed, you know.
Yep.
All right, so I posted this this article, and there's a video here, and it basically shows him performing the attack. So he just goes into another room after he's taken a picture of something, and he runs the hack. And yeah, let's see, this thing's like 5 minutes long. Anyways,
Can't watch it right now, so I don't.
yeah.
You said you posted it in the chat.
Yeah. Be careful with it. Yeah. Jet, what I had a lot of like music questions to chat with you about, like hella days ago. But
Really?
but I just haven't been able to get in touch with you. Have you watched Mando?
Yeah, I'm up to date on that though.
It's Mando that you watch, Mando. Have you seen the show, Duff, yet?
No, I don't. What is that, Jim?
Mandalorian is a Star Wars
Mandalorian. Yeah, I have
show.
not seen that.
It's really good. It's really good, in my opinion. And you don't have to be a Star Wars fan to appreciate it. In fact, I've never seen anything where they've like you saw the episode with Ahsoka, right, Jet?
Yeah, that was a great episode.
Yeah. You can't. I've never seen, like, they did such a great job of combining the Western genre with Eastern genres and science fiction all in one. It was insane. Like, right?
Yeah, man. They did a really good job with that. I mean, I know she's like a fan favorite from the cartoons and stuff.
Not even her. Just like the premise of the town, the and then the Japanese garden. So you had this fight going on where there was like this fight in a Japanese garden with lightsabers, right? Which is totally Japanese themed, right? And then you had like the Mandalorian fighting some other dude in the streets in kind of a Western standoff style. It was just two different worlds, but it all kind of worked, and all in Star Wars, all wrapped in Star Wars, so it felt science fiction.
Yeah, it was really good. Really dope.
Duff, do yourself a favor. I mean, what? Like, get your dog and fucking get on the couch.
So I always looking for like new shows, but I always go back to shows that I've watched before. I'm such a, like, it takes me a long time to get into. I put everything like on my list on Netflix or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
You know, I have like Disney Plus and Hulu, because me and my friends, we share so many different passwords, and I always just get stuck into watching the same thing. But I did just watch
with food and TV shows. Like
TV shows is a big one. Like I just rewatched Dairy Girls because I was like, you know what, that show is so funny, and I really want to like know I'm gonna laugh. You know, you have this expectation. Yeah. Have you guys? That's a good one. I'll put it on the list.
Jet, have you seen Alice in Borderlands?
No, I never heard of that. It's good?
It's a new Netflix series. It's all in Japanese, though. I think it's a fun watch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is it like super good? I think it's good if you like kind of like battle royale. Like, it's similar to battle royale, but it's slightly different. The premise is that like a gamer and his friends kind of walk out of a bathroom and suddenly nobody's left in Tokyo, and they have to play games in order, and if they don't play these games, they get killed by a laser from the sky. And
Oh shit.
and they play these like games to collect these like playing cards, and it's pretty good. It's pretty good. I did watch, this was recommended to me. I'm a big zombie fan. Kingdom. Have you guys seen that?
No, I'm not a zombie fan.
Okay. If you are not a zombie fan, you will probably still really like this. And I was turned on to it because it was in the zombie arena, but the show is mainly based, there's less zombie and more about the drama and politics behind and the conflict behind with the people, as opposed to the zombies. But the zombies are kind of just part of that, like they're like a catalyst for all of it. Yeah, I think it's a good one.
What's the anime with the people that live in the ground that we watched?
Gurren Lagann?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. Well, it was a fun one, right?
Yeah.
It was fun.
Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah, I mean, I've been trying to look for some new anime. I saw, I'm currently watching The Great Pretender, which is also another Netflix original. They've just been killing it, man, with like...
Yeah, they have been.
Is that an anime? The Great Pretender?
Yeah, so it's about like a Japanese con artist, and
Oh, I was just thinking they were killing it. And like, there's so many good things on Netflix.
there's so many good things. I mean, this was the perfect year for them to kill it too. I mean,
Yeah.
like,
I need some stuff to watch on Netflix. You got to send me a list, because I can't. I don't know. The user interface, it doesn't like bring
It's
anything.
terrible.
Yeah, it's garbage.
Yeah,
Like,
it doesn't bring like new things. So you can't. I like that would never have come up for me.
that's how you end up watching the same shit, right? Because it just yeah.
Like, how many times can I watch The Office, man? And that's always comes up for me.
Right? Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think it
man.
comes up for everybody though.
Comes up for everybody.
They're getting rid of it soon too.
So
where is it? Where that's going to? Is that going to the Peacock thing, or is that going somewhere
Yeah,
else?
I think it's going to Peacock.
What the fuck is Peacock?
The
It's
NBC?
NBC is streaming.
Really?
But it's free right now, or it was in the beginning of the pandemic. Maybe they're charging for it now.
Dude, fucking friends went to HBO Max, and HBO Max is not available on Roku, so I have like a Amazon Fire Stick, and that's the only way I'm able to watch it. It seems so silly. You know what I mean? It's basically accessing a website on the internet. Like, I should just be able to get into it, you know?
Yeah, you should.
Yeah. It's silly as fuck. Kenny Hoopla.
Yo, this is like, I'm like so close to like walking out of the shop, man. You have no idea.
I thought I was doing all right. What's going on?
It's horrible. It's just horrible. It's client delivery, and it's too much. They just take on too many projects. They can't handle it. They're understaffed, and they overpromise, underdeliver kind of thing. And
dude,
every night I've been working till like 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock this week.
I mean, I'm so tired of that shit, man. Like my job, like, has recently done the same thing, right? Like, so they, I got the job, and they were talking about like how they did a whole bunch of stuff to keep this like one particular client, right? And so one of my first projects was kind of just cleaning up the technical debt that was left behind from doing that. And they did it around December, and it's now December, and we're doing it again, and they have so many broken things, and they wonder why their support is underwater. They wonder why customers are unhappy, and it's because you just kind of do whatever you can to keep this like one client and build a whole bunch of features, but you don't do it right the first time, and you don't fix the initial problems, and you develop more technical debt. And so that just compiles and piles and piles and piles and piles and piles and piles until,
Yeah.
And like right now we're trying to save this client, and I'm like, this client is basically gone. There's no point in trying to build them additional features. Drop everything that we're doing right now to build them additional features. You know what I mean? Yeah. And there's no respect to process whatsoever. So getting shit done, right? So like they come to me later on and being like, well, what about this? Isn't this done? And I'm like, no, because you decided that this other thing was going to take priority. So you have to drop one for the other.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I don't know. It's just a mess, man. I mean, I'm sure OG was kind of like this back before I was there.
They actually had a little bit more. We used to bitch about it a lot, but Duff, this is the place that like Jet and I used to work at. But like,
Yeah.
we used to bitch about it a lot, but like at the end of the day, they still had more of a process than what I'm dealing with right now and what we've dealt with in general. Right, like they aren't full agile, but those requirements that they get up front make everybody's job a lot easier, and the documentation makes everybody's job a lot easier. And that's one thing that they did do really well, is like, even though they like overpromised and sometimes understaffed, they did put in the effort to make sure that documentation was in place, better than the places that I've been working at lately.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I had a great experience there. I just heard stories from people like when I was there, but I had a really good experience working there. I wanted to stay there, to be honest, but it just didn't work out. They weren't going to pay me, and my job was getting phased out, and it was what it was. But it was fun. I mean, they had fun environment kind of thing going on. Like, it was a fun product to work on because it was like sports related. Now I'm working in medical, and it's so boring. You want to just pay your eyeballs out. It's like group number, member number, types of coverage, all types of nonsense.
How secure is that shit?
I don't know. Can't be that secure, man. And then it's just like the people here are so miserable, and then they're all a bunch of like crazy workaholics, and they're all miserable. Either that or they drank this Kool-Aid that the CEO gave them to make them think they're gonna get rich from this shit, and they're not. So it's it's just nuts, man. And a lot of it's a lot of immigrants for work on QA, and a lot of them are here on visas, so they'll do anything. They have no kind of like standards for themselves. They'll work all night, all day, and then I'm lumped in with them, and now I'm expected to work all night, all day. And it's like, it's crazy, man. I mean, it hasn't been this bad. This is the worst that it's been, because and I knew it was going to be bad just based on like past deliveries we have. Like, we have a sign-off. We're supposed to get a sign-off tomorrow, and we're looking okay. I mean, there's literally one bug that it broke yesterday, and then the team told me, oh, it's not on our end, it's on the client's end. Okay, great. So They didn't fix it. Then today the client messaged us again. I said, guys, please look into this again. They fixed it, and now they can't get it into the upper environment, into the higher environment. I'm like, are you kidding me? And this is what I'm waiting for. I'm just waiting for them to promote this fix to the higher environment so I could check it and shut my computer off.
Dude, we got to get out of these like backwards ass small medium business bullshit.
I know.
It's so terrible. It's so toxic. And I mean, and at the end of the day, it's always the leadership's fault. Like,
yeah,
it's always the leadership's fault. It has like nothing to do with the people below in regards to it. They want to grow, but they have this mindset of like how you start in the first month or two, or no, first 6 months to a year, right? And then, but then after that, maybe even 2 years. But then after that, there has to be a point where you stop doing that, and you start focusing on scaling.
Right.
And it sounds like what your business and my business and some of OG's business did was kind of not do that. Just continue to operate like we have to produce like shit, as if we were just born yesterday. You know?
Right.
Like you have a steady stream from a couple people. Okay, so like there's this story about the founder of Domino's. Did you know he was homeless? Well, he was living out of a car for a little bit, right?
Yeah.
So, and he finally bought this like pizza joint place, right? And it was losing money or whatever. And one of the first things he did was say, "Hey, fuck this! I'm not going to offer like 12 different topping combinations like my competitors. I'm only going to do 3." You know?
Yeah.
And then and that from that point on, it ended up being his most profitable like move, right? Because his margins increased. He just focused on these 3 pizza types. And sure, you know, his competitors had like all these other like toppings, right? But he just did these 3, and it like increased his profits because of that. And the second thing is he started introducing delivery, which was something new, something that nobody had really been doing at the time. And you know, it's those like little innovations that he's done over periods of time. Did he have every combination pizza there was? No. Did he have, but he did like a few things right, and then he like would do something that nobody else is doing, you know?
Right.
You know those like heat bags that everybody uses today?
The hot bags, yeah.
The hot bags. Caviar, Uber Eats, they all use it. And Domino's was one of the first. They did that. They put it, the heat. I remember the commercials. They put it in the heat wave bag or whatever.
I remember those commercials too. It was like, it'll be hot when it get,
Yeah, that was like an innovative thing. Was the pizza like the best pizza?
Because they were really like takeout. Like they were not like a pizza place that you go to get a slice. Like they were a place that you get delivery from.
Right, but that concept when they started the business didn't really exist. So he's just started like delivering pizzas. He's like, I'll just fucking deliver it to you for free. I'll take my shit car and I'll deliver it to you for free. You know?
Right.
Yeah, and it's just funny, man. Like how that works, you know? It shows that at one point he was doing the entrepreneurial thing, right? Delivering the pizzas himself, right? Which was his value proposition, right? And that's what I'm talking about. That's like the year in the startup, right? That you need to be like just do anything and everything to make this work, you know? And then you like try to fine tune your product a little bit so that you can become more profitable. You might not capture every customer out there, but you become more profitable. And that's what he did when he like reduced the menu size, right? So now he can make more money. He doesn't need that. He doesn't need more customers. He's just making more money, and he's reducing the cost of like labor so that he can expand, right? Yeah. And that's exactly what they did. They started opening up Domino's everywhere, right? and then and then of course some corporate place bought it, and they put like some Harvard Business School douche in there, or actually somebody who graduated from Columbia with his and
Lex isn't on the call tonight though.
I know. And they ran the fucking company down into the ground and then caused a lot of debt. And then he came back, and he didn't try to do promise the world. He was just like, the company's in tremendous amounts of debt, and all I can do is just continue to do what I can to leave the doors open so that I could eventually pay you back. And he eventually dug the company out of that hole. It's an amazing story. It's an amazing story. But I think what I'm mostly amazed about it is just like the thing that he did that not very many entrepreneurs that I've been working with, that you've been working with, the businesses we've been working with don't do. They just kind of like operate like they're still the ones behind the wheel delivering the fucking pizza themselves,
Yeah.
And trying to offer every combination of pizza there is because their competitors have them, And
I almost feel like these aren't real businesses, because a real business has infrastructure,
Yeah. Jeff, what do you think about all this? What say you about all this?
I mean, I think it makes a lot of sense. Everybody wants to try and do everything they can, right, to make like $1 or profit any way they can. And so to kind of narrow down your focus and to really concentrate on maybe like 1 or 2 or even 5 things and not try and spread yourself so thin, people have a hard time doing that.
They do. They feel
because
this pressure.
It's a longer road, right? Like it is like there's a lot more work that you need to put in up front, maybe, like trying to make these, like the 3 pizzas work, right? Like to get out the word that that's what your product is.
It takes a lot of balls to then refuse customers who like ask for something different.
Exactly. And like to say kind of, no, this is how I'm doing it. And I think if you can get past that and you kind of stick to your guns almost, right? Like I deal with the same thing a lot. Like, well, it's not the same thing, but I think it's kind of similar. When in my kind of area, they don't stick to a goal. Like, it's always like, oh, well, we're not meeting, I work in events. And so it's always about like, no, it's never said that it's about numbers of people that are attending the events. It's always like, oh, we want to try and engage, this type of person or this group of people. And then when it comes down to it, it's like, no, we just want to get people there. And so the strategy that you're working on the whole time.
So they throw out the strategy altogether.
They throw it out.
Yeah.
And so it's like, why am I working to even try this or, try and be innovative, try and be creative when at the end of the day, you're just going to kind of open the gates and just let everybody in, and there's no strategy behind it. And I don't know, to me, there's like some similarity.
No, I know exactly what you're saying, because that shit happens. That shit happens to me, right? So my boss.
So frustrating.
We talked about like, you can't expect a different result if you just keep
You can't.
defaulting to old behavior. You know what I mean? Like if you want to try something different, you need to stick to trying something different
And you have
observe
to
the results.
you have to like follow through and see where it doesn't work, or you can't just give up because it's not going the way that you want it to. It just,
dude, I have
so
people
frustrating.
who will try something out for like implement a new process for like here's an example. You know, we
It's
implemented
like working
new,
out once and being like, oh, I didn't lose any weight.
yes, right? Or working out for like a week, right?
Yeah,
Working
you're
out for like
oh,
a
I'm not
week.
toned yet.
That is an excellent fucking analogy. I'm going to use that next time I bitch about.
Or it's like training my puppy. Like, I can't, after 1 week, expect him to be like a fully trained dog. And like, you know, my expectations of him will gradually grow. But I taught him how to sit. He's great at that. But like, I can't, you know, he just fails at everything else. Like,
Yeah.
it's just.
Dude, I feel like
Yeah.
I feel like that's gonna be a thing, saying that I use for the rest of my life. Thank you, Duff. It really is like working out for 1 week and expecting to like lose weight or have a lot of muscle.
Yeah.
You know?
This is an issue. I mean, I've been having this issue with companies for the last 10 years. I mean,
Yeah.
they just can't figure out what they want to be. They lack vision. You know, a lot of them lack vision. You need a good CEO with vision, and there's just not a whole lot of those guys out there. There's guys that play the role of like cool, hip CEO, but they're dumb as bricks. You know, they have no vision.
They're dumb as bricks, and they don't support the inner processes to grow. You know, they're just smoke and mirrors all the way through.
Yeah, it's total smoke and mirrors.
Shame that, you know, people equate not maybe reaching success, they equal it to failure instead of equaling it to learning a lesson and growing from that experience.
Right.
Well, they might.
Like,
I mean,
like my thing. Like, tell me what you guys think about this real quick. Sorry, man. Let me
No,
just,
it's cool.
get
It's
this
cool.
thought
It's
out.
cool.
So like my company's issue is like one of the biggest issues is that they'll do literally anything. They'll sell their mother to like meet a deadline. Like
Yeah.
what I really want to do is I want to be responsible for making them miss the deadline. Just so they say, hey, we really need to like look at this and think about this, and at least some kind of wake up call, right? Like,
Yeah.
because the way that things are
That they
going now,
won't
it's
do
like
it the next time. Like,
what's that?
it won't happen the next time, or they'll just
At
think
least
about
somebody-
the next time.
At least they'll ask questions. Yeah, at least they'll
Yeah.
be like, what happened? And then somebody with half a brain could say, hey, listen, you guys took on too much stuff. You know, we didn't have enough. We don't like. I'm testing like three applications at once right now, and the client has 5 QAs testing, or maybe 7 QAs testing the amount of applications that I'm testing. So
at
it's
least you
like-
guys have QA on the other end, or you have QA that's testing. Like, we don't.
Yeah, that's rough. But like, the thing is, they're finding so much stuff that we don't have enough staff to keep up with it.
Yeah.
You know, and
Yeah.
they promised too many features at one time, and it's like you have to literally work around the clock. We work the weekend, and you just can't keep up with it. So it's like you need to fail at some point to
Sustainable
say, hey,
either.
it's not.
You know?
Everyone's gonna quit. Everyone's gonna quit.
Yeah. Get it out, bro.
Yeah, I mean, my wife has to hear it all day. Like, I don't know, man. She's like, if you want to quit, just quit at this point.
Yo, did you still keep your Bitcoin? Cause it just hit.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. You know what's crazy is, do you remember Lauren from MoviePass, marketing lady?
Yeah, Lauren Heard.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we shouldn't say her full name, but
Oh,
I mean,
shoot, yeah.
but I will say this: she did some work with me. I paid her in Bitcoin, and that was like way early in the year. And I hope to God she just kept it. It actually makes me feel really good. Let me tell you something. Like, paying somebody for their work in Bitcoin and then later in the year knowing that it appreciated over time, I feel really good about that. Like, I gave them something that appreciated over time. I just didn't give them like $100 or something like that. You know what I mean? To just then be like spent off. I gave them something that like doubled in value over time. You know what I mean? It makes me, I felt really good about that. And
you gotta help me get set up with that. You've been talking about it and I still do not know how to like, it's very intimidating.
I think the easiest thing for anybody to do, even though they're kind of like the evil Grinch, which by the way, Coinbase is going IPO. I was going to suggest just going and downloading Coinbase, and they have tutorials on there. It kind of gives you a good introduction. It's a great first entry point for everybody, even though they kind of are a little bit evil, but I would say download Coinbase and like go through their tutorials and kind of learn a little bit about it and
take it from there.
Yeah, they make it really easy to, buy and, eventually you should take it off, but I think after you learn a little bit about it and,
what do you mean take it off?
Like take it off of Coinbase, and explore different services and things like that. But I think Coinbase is a great way to get people like introduced to the concept where, addresses, how they work, what's the expected wait time, fees, all that shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They'll tell you about other currencies as well. They'll even pay you to learn about other currencies. So you can earn like, $10 worth of like Ethereum by looking at a few tutorial videos,
When you pay this girl in Bitcoin, did she like already have it set up, or did you like were like, hey, I'm gonna pay you in this? You need to kind of set up an account to be able to accept it.
I think I had her set up a Coinbase account. I think I had her do that. Yeah. Yeah, I think I had her do that. I think I had her set up a Coinbase account, and I just sent the money to her address, and that was that. And then with Coinbase, you could easily sell it and, transfer it, sell it into cash, and then transfer it into her bank account if she really needed it,
She just left it, she would have doubled it.
She would have tripled it.
Tripled it.
More than tripled it, actually, because it like.
Yeah, man. I'm glad you told me that.
What?
I'm doing all right.
Good, dude. Good. That's funny, bro. Honestly, like. I've been telling everybody about this for a while, but like it is really a savior for people, especially during this time in the pandemic where people need loans. And I had been talking about this last time, but I'll fucking beat the dead horse until people get it. Like, the traditional banking system and our traditional system is not set up for you. It's set up to extract money from you and fuck you. And these other systems are in place that aren't designed in that way. It's as simple as that. And I just have like, I love seeing it help people. Like for me, like, when we left our job, Jet,
Yeah.
I had to pull out a loan. That I had to get a car. I accumulated a shit ton of debt. And if it weren't for services like Nexo, which I was able to use my Bitcoin to get like a collateralized loan, I would be fucked right now. And then also, if it wasn't for Bitcoin in general, I would be fucked right now because I would just be in a shit, I'd be in a lot of debt, And it literally saved the next like 5 years of my life. And that's priceless,
Yeah.
Anyways.
Most definitely.
Yeah. I hate to be like telling people about Coinbase, but it really is the easiest way to get used to it, I guess.
Yeah, that's what I have. I have Coinbase.
Yeah.
They used to let you buy Bitcoin with credit card. That was great.
Yeah, until people would be fucking maxing out their cards, dude. It was crazy. It's funny, man. Like, I've been thinking, like, fuck paying off my credit card debt. Like, there's just like, it's like cheap, Britt, my girlfriend and I were talking about how credit is a scam because you're forced to use it to like, you're told that you need a house or you need like a car, you need things, you need like to rent, right? But you need credit for all these things. And it's designed so that if you don't use a credit card or you don't use like keep a balance or anything like that over a period of time, they'll close your cards down or which affects your credit score, so if you're not using a credit card, then it affects your credit score. So you're pretty much forced to use a credit card. And even if you don't want to carry debt, you're pretty much forced to have to carry some in some form or fashion for a little bit of time so you can build up your credit. It's a fucking scam. It's designed to make you pay that interest so that they make money. It makes me sick. I'm sorry. I want to get off my high horse.
No, you're onto something.
Yeah.
It's definitely a scam, man. Everything is so expensive that how would you be able to afford it without using a little credit here, a little credit there? I think you gotta learn how to play the game because I think there's a lot of like there's a lot of financial. You definitely know how to play the game, but like I know like even with my wife and like some people like they still think like you could live like you're in the 1940s where you could save for something, buy it cash, like all it like never use credit, and it's like the system is just not designed that way. I'm not saying you can't do that, but you're gonna like everything's gonna take so long for you to do,
Yeah, I agree. And I think it's like you're really educating. I mean, I've learned a lot. Like, I know I haven't bought any Bitcoin, but again, to me, it's very intimidating. I definitely need to check it out more. But you've taught me a lot about the systems and really what can work for you. So I think don't be like on a high horse. I think you're being educational.
Oh, thank you. I just want to see people like succeed in that way, Like
Judge just said he bought it when you first met you, and like he's like happy that he kept it and bought it,
sitting on it.
Like, I mean, that's like the purest example right there of a good thing that you did.
Yeah. And there's a game that you can play with credit cards, but it's fucking hard. Like, I have spreadsheets. Not the average person is not going to be as neurotic and crazy about it as me, right? But you can game the system to your favor. But like the average person, like, I'm not like, it takes a lot of work, and like, average people might not have even an influence of some kind to help educate them in how to do it, right? So how would they know how to do it? Like, if I was a person who was like, I was lucky enough to know people who I've met and been friends with, right, who like had maybe came from like a richer upbringing, right? And so they had credit cards or they had things, right? And they had that piece of wisdom and knowledge and education that I could like observe and like watch what they did, and like and then that gave me a basis to like start learning on my own, but like you can't, like if you're gonna like, for example, if you're gonna buy a couch, right,
to learn from, sorry,
well just like pick up like basics from, right? Like if you're gonna buy a couch and that you want to use credit, right? Like, well, you can search for like a good card that has 0% APR and gives you like a bonus at the end, a bonus for signing up, right? So like Chase will sometimes have like a $500 bonus if you spend $4,000 in the next like 3-4 months, right? Like if you're making a big purchase, you can apply for that card, pick up the couch or whatever, and that $1,500 couch is now only $1,000, right? Because you just got cash back from that, right? But and that's a way to build your credit. But like again, you're in that system now, so you have to maintain that credit card. Meaning like every year you have to at least spend a little bit on it and pay it all off at once. And then if you really want to gamify it, you want to stick to the same ecosystem so that all your points are accumulated under one ecosystem. So Amex has like their ecosystem of points, Chase has their ecosystem of points, and they're all worth something different with all these different kinds of benefits, right? And if you really want to get the most savings and gamify the whole thing, you get all your cards in the Amex system. So you get like a Amex Gold and a Amex Platinum and an Amex Blue card, and then all your points like accumulate there. And the Blue card collects 2% for everything that you spend. Platinum's good for travel. Gold's good for restaurants and groceries and gas, and like you use those cards accordingly when you buy things, right? Chase does something similar, right? If you want to be in the Chase ecosystem, you get like a Chase Sapphire for like travel and restaurant and food stuff, and then you get like the Chase Freedom card for everything else, plus rotating categories, which they give you like 5% each quarter for like, could be like Walmart 1 quarter, it could be like, but then you have to track it, you have to track everything. and to make sure you pay it all off. And then you can have the credit to get a house or rent a place or do whatever the fuck you want. And that's why it's a scam, because they force you to use it. They force you to use that system. And if you don't know how to gamify the system, you're vulnerable.
It's a scam because if you are someone who doesn't have anyone at all to be able to teach you about any kind of financial literacy, you're not taking advantage of these. Like I remember telling my friend about 0% credit cards, and I move, large amounts of money. Like I'll move it to a credit card with like a 0% for like a year just to pay down some debt.
That's smart.
She was telling
That's a good strategy.
And I learned that from my mom, because my mom was doing that. And she was telling me she's paying like $600 a month in interest or something. And I honestly, like, I couldn't believe what I was hearing. And I'm like, why are you, I've never paid interest. Like, not never, but it's something I hate paying interest. Like, I can't stand it, because there is all these ways that you could kind of get around it. And I felt like you felt really good about the Bitcoin thing. I felt really good to teach my friend how to, because she said she gets these, the cards in the mail, but she ignores them. Yeah. She didn't really know what 0% APR meant. Like, and that's just crazy that, she didn't think it was like worth opening another credit card. And the important thing when you do it like that is you can't then use the card on like a daily basis, right? Like that card is just like it's a loan pretty much.
It's just holding
You
your
do-
balance. Yeah.
It's holding your balance. Yeah, you can't like take that card and then put groceries on top of it or gas. Like that's gonna fuck you eventually because you're never paying down the balance. You're always accruing new interest on purchases, and I don't know. To me, that's just it should be separate. And she's been able to pay down some debt, and it saved her a lot of money. And I feel really good about telling her that because she had no
Fucking
idea.
Beautiful. It's fucking beautiful. Duff, you fucking, that's fucking beautiful.
And I was like, how do you not know about this? I was like, I've been doing this for years.
I mean,
yeah, me too. It's great.
it's
The best way to pay off debt.
It is. And then you have to like shop around to the different ones because you get, I get a Chase, I get a Discover. Discover always has the best rates to the transfer balance. Because it could be 2%, it could be 5%. There's a big difference between 2 and 5% when you're dealing with like, a couple $1,000s or you're making a big purchase or something like that. Because they have the ones for purchasing as well.
Yeah, people forget that those things like your interest is like 24%, right? Once you run out of the introductory period.
Yeah, once that 12-month period is over or whatever, it definitely, you have to pay off that debt. But that's when you get another one of those things in the mail, and then you just move it to a different credit card. And then you use that card for, like, I have 2 cards that I go back and forth, a Discover and a Chase. And like every other year, like if I have a balance left on one of those cards by the end of it, I just put it, and then I add to the balance because I'm like, oh, I'm not just going to transfer over like $500 or $1,000. Let me either make, like I'm making another purchase, or I'll, take out some money or something and shoot that credit card bill back up to like, a decent amount that I don't have to pay. It's like a free loan. It's an interest-free loan.
Yeah. Well, like what they're betting on is that, like you said, they will just continue to charge on that card, and they're also betting on that after you're done with it, you could that you have to use it because if you close it, then it fucks up your credit card, your credit.
Well,
score.
the funny thing is, like, I don't even know where the actual cards are for these accounts because I never use the cards, so I don't even know if they're gonna file. Yeah, they're expecting me not to pay off the balance at the end, which is exactly what I do.
Or they, or that you add a balance to it.
Yes, yeah. That's what gets you is you could be fine. That got me one year, and that's why I always keep like purchases and kind of transfers separate, because I was making purchases, and even though I was paying off the minimum or something, I don't know, I got screwed, and basically the interest rate went back up, and it said like I didn't qualify for the 0% anymore.
Yeah.
Ever since that,
they don't count. I think sometimes purchases get the full interest rate, and the balance transfers get the 0 APR.
Right, and then it gets shady. So let's say you transferred like $1,000, and then you purchased $1,000, $200. So your balance is like $1,200.
Yep.
But it was like if you didn't pay the $1,200, it was very weird. I don't know.
No, that happened with me with Wells Fargo. I did a balance transfer, and I had to make like I made a couple small purchases on it, right? And they started charging the full interest amount on the balance. And they were like, in order for you to get rid of it, you have to pay off the balance outside of the 0% balance. But you have to do it in a very special way. You have to first make your minimum payment, and then you have to pay the rest of it in full or whatever, right?
Yeah, it's very like it's also not super clear. I felt like
it really isn't. It really isn't, and it's tricky.
They really do try and confuse you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so that's why I just keep it separate. Like I don't purchase anything. Yeah.
Speaking
I don't know
of
where the
which,
cards are.
I still don't have the title for my car.
Really?
Seriously?
I didn't know New York was a title holding state or whatever. And so I never received it.
Oh, until you pay it off. Yeah, you don't get the title.
Wait, no. That's
No,
not
you
true,
get the
though.
title.
Yeah, you do get the title. Jet's right.
What
In
do
New
you mean?
York. In New York, you get the title even if you don't pay it off. So as you're paying off your loan, you should still have the title. It just
I didn't
works
have the
so-
title for my car when I.
Was it a lease?
Oh wait, yeah, I did. Never mind.
Yeah, at least you don't get the title. You just get the lease agreement.
Yeah, I've never leased a car. I thought for my Civic I didn't, but for my Mini I did. I don't
So
know.
apparently, I called both the Lean and Carvana, and they said that nobody else can get them the title. Something got fucked up along the way, and so I have to contact the DMV. DMV said that they sent it and nobody knows what happened to it. So I issued another one and I'm still waiting for that title to come back. I left my car in New Jersey in a driveway in my girlfriend's.
Of someone
parents'
that you
house.
know.
Yeah. But still.
Are you
it's-
selling the car?
Yes, I'm getting rid of it. I've been trying to get rid of it. I just need the title. That's all I fucking need.
What are you selling it for?
Well, the thing is that Carvana will give me close to 7K, which is like really, really not that much compared to what I ended up paying for it, right? But like a few months prior to getting that quote, I was able to get it.
You told me about this. Yeah.
Yeah, I was able to offload it for like 11K, and like that made a lot of sense, right? And so now that I went to go sell it, I was like, fuck it, I'll just eat the loss. You know, I just want this over with, right? I don't want to pay insurance anymore. I want it over with. I want it out of my hands. I gotta go, you know? I have to wait for the title. And so because somebody fucked up, and they never gave me my title, I have to get it reappraised as soon as I get the title. And the time goes by and the price just goes down, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's such a.
So you don't
fuck
need the
up.
car anymore? You're working remote, or?
Yeah. I'm. I pretty much told my job, I was like, hey, like I want to continue working, but like I need to move, and unfortunately, it's not going to be in New York, and I need to know if you guys are okay with that. Otherwise, if not, then I gotta go, accordingly and look for something else,
Yeah.
So that's what I did. I'm still working there for however long they'll have me,
Yeah.
Yeah. It's, Jet, at a certain point, and I realize this, is like, you just I have to start thinking about my lifestyle first before I think about my job. It's, I know it sounds really backwards, but like, I need to start building my job around my lifestyle instead of the other way around.
Yeah.
That sounds good. Yeah.
Well,
I understand that.
In theory, right? And I think that's only possible because I spent so much time in a job doing the opposite, right?
Yeah.
I think it doesn't make
Yeah.
sense if you're like a student or something, and you haven't really worked. You know what I mean? Like you should probably go and work a little bit.
Well, I'm kind of feeling the same way, and like I've really always dedicated everything to the job, and now I'm kind of like I don't want to do that. Like the job isn't the number one priority, and I don't want it to be the number one priority. And it took this year to really like make me understand that.
I think
It's not what I
this
want
year was
anymore.
unique for a lot of people.
Yeah.
I think the idea, you know, when you start staying at home and realizing how much time you spend away from the things that like you value and care about in the world, you realize just how fucked up that situation is. And
Yeah.
Working at home gives you a lot of that back. Like you know, my lunch is like I fucking just walk away from my desk, you know, and I'm like home, you know, and if I want to take
I haven't bought lunch out. Like where my boss is buying us all lunch tomorrow. We're doing like a remote, you know, everybody's getting like lunch delivered to them, and I had to like choose a restaurant to order from to get like a meal tomorrow, and I'm like, oh man, like I don't know I haven't had to eat lunch out in a very long time, and like the places around me are not suited to like a lunch delivery, you know. It's not like around the office where everything is like designed for working people.
Yeah.
I will say I do miss working in Manhattan. I don't. Fucking miss
Well,
it.
with the unlimited per diem, yeah, that was great.
Well, yeah, I mean that was great too. But like, I liked our lunches. I liked coming down from the fucking skyscraper, fucking going down into the walking around for the midday lunch.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, so did I. I missed that. I definitely missed that in the pandemic for sure.
There's an amount of prestige and fanciness that is working in Manhattan, and I love it.
Yeah,
I
there
fucking
is. Yeah.
love it. It's fun in that way. You know, but also at the end of the day, you're still that cuts into like how much you have left over at the end of the day. So
I think though when you work at a company physically, you have so like you're talking about things you value, right? You build relationships, right? I mean, if you're around people, you can you have like human contact. You can build relationships with people like us and other people we work with. But if you work from home, it literally is so like the value of that is cut to basically nothing, and like you're literally just working. You know?
Yeah.
Like
that's true.
You're just like a cog in a wheel now, like in a giant machine.
That's true. When I went back to the office, I was actually very happy to like be around people. At the same time, the commute time and everything in between left me very little time out at home. So, but you're right. You're right, and then you start to resent your job even more.
Yeah. Hey guys, listen, I gotta go.
Oh, yeah, you know what? I realized, what time is it?
11.
Yeah.
My phone is gonna die. That's really my main reason for leaving.
Should we wrap it up anyways? Chet, you want to hang back and catch up for a minute?
Yeah, sure.
All right. Good night, everybody. Enjoy.